Hey everybody, Kenny Jr. here and welcome back to Stick to Games. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 5/4 swing. And of course, you can't talk about the 5/4 swing without mentioning Take 5, that legendary tune from the Bruebeck Quartet, featuring the legendary drummer Joe Morello. Our track today comes from Final Fantasy VII. It's called Cinco De Chocobo, and it draws very clear inspiration from our legendary drummer Joe Morello. It's a very busy drum part, and since it was performed using General MIDI, I first thought it to be somewhat impossible. But with clever sticking, there actually is a method of playing the part as it sounds in the song, and it'll actually involve the use of some hybrid rudiments. I really can't wait to show you all this one, so let's take it to the set. So this pattern is littered with enough swing eights, triplets, and ghost notes to keep you busy. Thankfully, our kick drum is sparse enough as not to interfere too much with the beefy part of the snare and ride interaction by only catching the downbeats on the 1 and the 5. So assuming we can all count to 5, I'll jump straight to my sticking for the ride and snare interaction. So here was the closest rudiment that I could find that most clearly resembles what I do. It's called a double flam Swiss, meaning it's a rudiment based out of Switzerland. You may remember from a few earlier lessons the employment of Swiss Army triplets. The double flam Swiss appears to be a variation on that idea by flamming the last stroke in a set of triplets. Our sticking today will use a right lead double flam, and in the right hand we will alternate between the ride cymbal and the snare drum. So as I get into this, I'll break it down into two parts. I'll first demonstrate the double flam Swiss triplets all on one surface, and then I'll split them between two surfaces as they're designed in the track. And now, here's the rudiment and application as it applies to the first measure of our primary pattern. The second bar has a slightly more interesting one, where we have the notation of an alternating patafla starting from the accent in the ride cymbal. I'll first double my left hand on the snare drum, and then the right will come down to the snare. It'll immediately return to the ride for the double flam, and then a final right to the snare drum, followed by another ride flam. And then the left hand and the right hand will play together for the final swing eighth notes. It sounds like a lot, so I'll try to demonstrate this very slowly. Then you'll glue them together, and the result is a very busy sounding swing pattern with strong 1 and 5 beats. After putting those together a few times, we move into a 3/4 section. This part is fairly easy to read. The right part stays the same in all of these measures, so you just watch for the changes in the snare and kick. And finally, you'll finish with 2 switch rhythmic triplets with a pair of 8th notes in between. Our busy pattern resurfaces for a short while before hitting a 6/4 time transition. Pretty simple comparatively. All we do is omit the final flam of the alternating patafla and instead give 3 ride quarter notes. In our next section, our snare drum finally calms down and plays consistently on the downbeat of 4, as well as switching between playing on the up and downbeats of 2. Ride and kick remain the same. Finally, after all that is said and done, we use a 3-bar long 6/4 section to turn around, featuring a long stride of snare-only triplets and then a long string of ride cymbal pattern. A welcome break in the track if you ask me. Now, before this main idea returns, we hear this ride pattern continued with what sounds like bongos. Just for fun, I've notated this played out with the top and mid tom. Left hand works a lot harder than the right this time, so this addition helps to kind of spread the work out. And alright everybody, that just about covers everything we had to talk about today. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button and also subscribe so you can see my future videos. Remember to hit me up on social media, Instagram or Twitter if you want to make a special request for a video or if you just want to drop by and say hi. Also be sure to check out my website where you can find these transcriptions as well as other content that I produce. I hope you enjoyed everything today and I hope to see you again soon. Till next time.